The Buffalo Sabres have won 10 in a row. Jason Robertson and Adam Fox snubbed from Team USA. And who got left off of Team Canada? All on today's edition of Locked On NHL. Hello, everyone, and welcome to this late Thursday edition of Locked On NHL. I am Nick Zararis, the host of Locked On Oilers. That's my good friend and co-host of Locked On Penguins, Hunter Hodies. We want to thank everyone that is making Locked On NHL their first listen of the day. Locked On NHL is a part of the Locked On Podcast Network, now the #1 sports podcasting network. As we said at the open, we are going to start with the improbable run of the Buffalo Sabres, who've won 10 straight games, a great streak for a franchise in dire straits. Our second segment, we will pivot to talking about the guys left off of Team USA, in particular Adam Fox and Jason Robertson. We'll tie them into guys who did make the team, and then we'll wrap up the show talking a little bit about the selections Team Canada made, maybe some of the guys who we would have brought instead. But Hunter, my friend, it feels like once every few years the Sabres are good for one of these heaters. A couple of years ago, they came out of the gate and they were in first place in the Atlantic through American Thanksgiving, and they had a 12-game winning streak in there, and everybody was very excited that they had turned the corner, that they looked poised to take advantage. And look, this is the weirdest NHL season maybe in my entire life, where all it takes is one good week to get back in the mix. And Buffalo's had 2.5 good weeks, and now they're sitting in fourth in the Atlantic, and they have a really good chance to make some noise in what is a very depleted Eastern Conference.
It's crazy, man. I mean, this team was at the bottom of the Eastern Conference literally just a few weeks ago. They make the GM change. Jarmo comes in, and usually, Nick, it's the other way around. You make a head coach change, and you get the head coach bump. They've gotten the GM bump with Jarmo now as the GM, and the Sabres are just running wild. They have all the confidence in the world. The fan base is going nuts. And you know what? Good for Sabres fans. They deserve something like this. They have been through hell and back for the last decade plus at this point. So I am super happy for that fan base in particular, because that is a very strong fan base up there in Buffalo, and they deserve to see a winner after so many years of them just, being in the basement. It all starts with Tage Thompson. What he's doing this year is spectacular. 20 goals, 37 points in 39 games. Nick, it is confirmed that he is going to be on the Team USA roster. We'll get into more about that roster later on the show, but very well deserved. Got the golden goal, the world championships this past summer. He's been awesome this year. He deserves to be on this roster. I think deserves to be in the starting lineup. I know there's going to be a couple extras, but Tage deserves to be there. Alex Tuch, he's been awesome. 12 goals, 32 points. Josh Doan has 11 goals this season.
I've liked what I've seen a lot from Josh Doan when the Oilers played.
Yeah, go ahead.
When the Oilers played Buffalo, I think it was last week or the week before, he was really noticeable. He had a lot of energy, dare I say, shades of Macklin Celebrini, puck hounding, of just on guys, swinging sticks, being very aggressive. But I really liked what I saw from Doan in that limited stint last week when I watched them play the Oilers.
Yeah, he's really been great this year. Rasmus Dahlin, we all know what to expect out of him. He's a playmaking machine from the blue line. Great in all three zones. He's going to be great for Team Sweden at the Olympics, and for Buffalo, very much their #1 defenseman, rightfully so. I like what I'm seeing from Jack Quinn this year. Ryan McLeod, same thing. Bowen Byram, I think, has also not even been that terrible this year. So it's not even been their top guys, Nick. It's a collective group effort, and they're all feeling all the confidence in the world right now. I mean, this is a team that's now in a playoff spot, and we're into 2026. They keep this up. They're going to be in the race for the entire year, which we really have not been able to say too often about this team for the last 10 plus years. Their goaltending has been
lights out.
Yeah, it's been, when you look at the overall stats, their combined team save percentage is about .903 for the whole year, Nick. But on this 10-game winning streak,
lights out.
Awesome, man. They're getting every single save known to man.
And that's really what jumped out to me when I was doing prep for the show, putting together the numbers. The underlying numbers aren't all that different. I was kind of expecting to win 10 in a row. I was expecting some jump, whether it was the overall volume of offense or the quality of the offense, but they're 3% fewer scoring chances than the season-long average. Their shot share is less than 0.5% higher. Their goal share is 13% higher. That's the big jump. Their expected goal share is down 5%. Their high danger chance share is down 2%. But as you alluded to, they've gotten 9.38 goaltending at 5-on-5 in the last 10 games. You're getting 9.40 goaltending. You don't need to score a lot to win those games, but you go up to a 9.38 save, and then your shooting percentage is over 10% at 5-on-5. Your power play has been a little bit better than it has for the season long as well. Going into today, as of the time of this recording, they were still only at 18% on the season for the power play, which isn't great. But in this 10-game winning streak, they've gone 5 for 28. That's not incredible, but it is an improvement based on what they've had. And then the penalty kill has been really good over the last 10 games as well, killing 85% of penalties over the last 10. That'll give you a lot of chances to win. And this is a team that has been long tortured. This is a team that has direly needed a sense of direction. And we here, you and I specifically, made a lot of fun of them hiring Lindy Ruff last summer because it was a nostalgia play. It wasn't rooted in anything about what Ruff was going to be able to do so far. And I'm happy for the guys on that team. It is miserable showing up to work every day when you know your team stinks. I mean, famously, this is the team that Ryan O'Reilly said made him stop loving hockey. And then he found love again when he ended up in St. Louis. But the Sabres are an interesting story. And I think if there were ever a year for something funky to happen, it's a year like this where nobody in the league other than Colorado seems to be all that good. We have a massive concentration of talent in that Central Division where it looks like the Wild, Stars, and Avalanche are just going to take turns beating the crap out of each other and murdering the rest of the West. The East, on the other hand, this is as bad a conference as I can recall. And I'm not saying the Sabres are not deserving. They've obviously won these games, but this is the year for a funky team to make some noise because no one's that good. Carolina, it hasn't really gelled in the way they might have thought it has. They're still fine, but they're not playing at a contender level right now.
They still don't have Slavin and Jarvis right now either. So
yeah, injuries have been really the story of this year in the East, especially. You think about Florida, you think about Tampa Bay, some of the injuries the Rangers have had, the injuries Washington has had. Anybody has an opportunity right now, and it's a golden one for a Buffalo team that deserves a nice break. And look, they're not a Stanley Cup contender, but they don't need to be. They just need to start making progress. And we'll see. I'm a bit skeptical of Jarmo as a GM. I don't think he's anything remarkable or special. But if he can come in there from the outside with a non-Pagula-tainted perspective on things and really drive that team in the direction it needs to, they don't need to win a lot, but they could be the Blue Jackets. They make the playoffs once every 3-4 years, and Sabres fans would be pretty happy with that.
Right. I think the next step for them is actually just making the playoffs. And you've seen some of their core players have said, it's time to turn this thing around. You've seen some of the comments from their big guns. They're fed up with losing, and now they're all taking it into their own hands. And now they've won 10 in a row, and they're right in the thick of this. And the Atlantic Division, you made that point about how wide open the East is. The Atlantic Division especially is just absolutely there for the taking. Like Detroit, Nick, that's another team we really haven't talked about a lot this year. They've been much better than expected. They're in first place in the Atlantic right now. It goes to show how wide open this division is. Montreal obviously is there. Florida has come alive, which we all expected they would. Tampa Bay is still obviously Tampa Bay. Boston, I think, is better than both you and I expected them to be. The Metro, I still think, is full of mid, but there's no reason to think that the Sabres can't get one of those last two playoff spots in the East, or maybe even a top 3 spot with the way they're playing right now, the goaltending they're getting. And look, I don't know if they're going to get 940 goaltending in the second half of the season. That's probably a little bit of wishful thinking, but even if it goes down, Nick, to 915, 920, that's still really freaking good, man. So again, I also like the way they're defending in games over the last 10 game stretch. This is a team that is just playing with the entire full confidence. They're putting together 60-minute efforts night in and night out. Their top guys are going. Their depth players are stepping up. It's been really fun to see, and it's great for a fan base that has really deserved this.
Oh, for sure. And that's really what it comes down to at the end of the day. I'm not a monster. I want everybody to be able to enjoy their team. I know my teams have been making me miserable as of late, so it'd be nice if someone else could be happy. We're going to take our first break on today's edition of Locked On NHL. When we come back, we'll tackle Team USA and the atrocity of leaving Adam Fox at home and bringing Seth Jones. Fridays feel different during basketball season, and FanDuel is making them even better. Every Friday night before games tip off, FanDuel gives fans a new way to kick the weekend off with NBA Happy Hour. NBA Happy Hour is your official pregame, a limited time window where special offers drop right inside the FanDuel app before the action starts. On Fridays from 6 to 7:30 Eastern Standard Time, our appointment viewing with the NBA Happy Hour by FanDuel. Open the FanDuel app during Happy Hour and you'll find something new. Boosts, bonuses, and other surprises. It's easy to check the weekly specials before tip-off and make a move before the window closes. The timing is perfect, right before the games, right before the weekend starts. It adds extra energy to Friday night basketball, and you won't overthink it. So before tip-off, check the FanDuel app and see what's dropping during the NBA Happy Hour every Friday from 6 to 7:30 p.m. Eastern. A little basketball, a little action, and a whole lot of Friday energy. That's NBA Happy Hour only on FanDuel, the official sportsbook partner of the NBA. Thank you so much to everybody that is hanging out on this edition of Locked On NHL. Thank you so much to everybody that is making Locked On NHL their first listen of the day. If you haven't yet, be sure to check out the Everydayer Club. The details are down in the show notes. You can get access to ad-free episodes and access to the Everydayer Discord server with other Everydayers and Locked On personalities. Hunter, my friend, we've been joking about Team USA messing this up basically since the Four Nations ended. And we were talking about this before we started recording, and I want to frame it this way because I think this is a philosophical conversation. So much of the way we talk about hockey is rooted in history. Why do we play four lines? Why do certain players play more than others? And the answer you're going to get from a lot of people is this is the way it's done. And if guys kill penalties, inherently that means they're pretty good at defense. But is penalty killing a skill? Is that something you can teach? Is it something that guys just are better at than others? And I think the evidence would point you to know that statistically you can get pretty good penalty killing from guys like Connor McDavid if you want to. But so much of this conversation is warped by a Kirk Russell movie from 20 years ago and a miracle. And that's the thing here. We are talking about a game that was so improbable. If I remember correctly, Team USA was outshot like 65-10, and they won that game. Something ludicrous like that, where Jim Craig stood on his head. And ever since, the mindset has been we should try and do that again, as opposed to maybe we should just try and get more talent. The reason the United States needed to play like that in 1980 was they were college kids. They weren't professional hockey players. There wasn't a professionalization of hockey at that point to cultivate the level of talent that the U.S. does now. And saying things like, well, does he kill penalties? Anybody can kill penalties. I'm sure Jason Robertson could kill penalties. Adam Fox kills penalties for the Rangers. He doesn't have any problems. But because of the way we think about hockey, Adam Fox doesn't throw a lot of hits. He's not very big. He's not physically imposing. But in the context of Olympic hockey, that doesn't really matter a whole lot because we are playing with IIHF rules as opposed to NHL rules. And I'm just at a loss. There is no justification or argument that Seth Jones or Brock Faber or even Charlie McAvoy is better than Adam Fox. And I like McAvoy a lot. Faber's come around a little bit the last few weeks for Minnesota since Quinn Hughes got there. But there's no world where Adam Fox is not the second best, if not the best American defenseman in the world. I am just at an absolute loss.
He's not better than Quinn Hughes. I would put him right behind Hughes. If you want to argue McAvoy over him, sure, by all means. But even then, Nick, he's at worst, the third best defenseman that Team USA has to offer. You didn't even mention Noah Hannafin, who I'm fairly confident is probably going to be on this team. Michael Russo of The Athletic has reported for the last couple of weeks that final spot has been coming down to Fox or Hannafin. And if you read the tea leaves, obviously Emily Kaplan reported that Fox has been told he's not going to be on the team. And then Adam Fox spoke to the media today, said, yep, I got the call. I'm not going to be on the team. It's going to be Noah Hannafin, which I don't understand. I don't know what Noah Hannafin does better than Adam Fox. I mean, I guess he's tall, but doesn't move the puck nearly as well as he does. He doesn't defend nearly as well as Adam Fox does. He's not as good in transition as Adam Fox is. Not going from defense to offense better than Adam Fox. It's very strange. Seth Jones, I will say this about Seth Jones. I think he had a great run with Florida at the end of last year.
He was really good in the playoffs last year.
He has also been really good to start the year. I wouldn't have as much of a problem with Seth Jones if you were just bringing Adam Fox in the first place. But bringing Seth Jones and someone like Noah Hannafin plus Brock Faber over Adam Fox, that's the problem I run into, because you were sitting here telling me that there are 8 defensemen in this country alone that are better than Adam Fox, which, I mean, I think that's lunacy. You look at the underlyings for this year. Adam Fox has played 28 games, 526 minutes of 5-on-5 ice time. When he is on the ice, the Rangers have had 57% of the shot attempts, +9 in goals for. Also a expected goal share of 60.6%, about 61% of the scoring chances, 66% of the high danger chances, and then +7 in high danger goals for versus high danger goals against. He drives offense every single time he is out there. His ability to walk the blue line, especially on the power play, is elite. The way he defends, he's very competent. I've seen people on social media saying he's not good in his own zone. That just could not be further from the truth. I don't know what people are watching, in my opinion. I know, Nick, people will say like, well, he wasn't that good at the Four Nations. Okay, but whatever. But that's a 3 to 4 game sample. I'm not going to use a 3 to 4 game sample to make my opinions known about a player. Adam Fox is a top 5 to 10 defenseman in the NHL, and I think it's absolutely crazy that he is not going to be on this team. As for Jason Robertson, we'll get into that here. I'll throw this back to you in a second, Nick. It is even more criminal that Jason Robertson is probably not going to be on this team. It's not officially confirmed yet, but again, if you read the tea leaves from Michael Russo and a couple other people, it certainly seems like Robertson is not going to be on this team, which again, man, it's just ludicrous. If you look at some of the analytics, he ranks in the 94th percentile for even strength offense, 80th percentile for even strength defense, 94th percentile for power play, 96th percentile for finishing. He's had an unbelievable year this year for the Dallas Stars. He's arguably been the best American-born player in the NHL this year. His ability to score at both the power play and at 5-on-5 has been elite throughout the year. This has been a situation where we have been wondering so many times where are the goals going to come from with Team USA. Like, we all know like the top guys, Nick, but when push comes to shove, if those top guys are getting shut down, who is going to step up and even in a middle 6, bottom 6 role and get a goal? Even if you don't have Jason Robertson in your top 6, you tell me he can't play in the bottom 6 and get you a huge goal when Team USA needs it? Come on, man. Like, I'm sorry. There is no sensible world where you can bring JT Miller, who has not been good this year,
and
Vince Trocheck over him. It's ridiculous. Yeah. It's a joke.
Look, as far as Robertson goes, Team USA does kind of have a goal scoring problem because Matthew Tkachuk hasn't played hockey this year. He might not even play tomorrow in the Winter Classic. Jack Hughes missed 6 weeks and is coming back from an injury. Austin Matthews is only on pace for 35 goals this year, which would be the lowest he's ever had in a season. As much as everybody, and granted, I'm among them, likes the team on paper, especially the top 6, this is not as slam dunk as it felt back in February, where everybody was running at full speed, everybody was pretty healthy. And I can make an argument Jason Robertson's better than Matt Boldy. I mean, Matt Boldy's a lock on this team because Bill Guerin's the GM. Jason Robertson is arguably better than Matt Boldy. He's unequivocally better than JT Miller or Vincent Trocheck. I think Tage versus him is an interesting conversation. I would be willing to entertain it. But over the last 5 years, Robertson has unequivocally been one of the 10 best American forwards in the NHL, and he can't get any respect. I wrote about it last week on my Substack. Robertson is playing the more difficult minutes than Mikko Rantanen is right now. The Stars, as a team, are not able to play nearly as well when Robertson isn't on the ice. I'm looking through my notes here trying to find them from what I had written about Robertson. But the point being, you don't need to think about defense and special teams nearly as much in this type of format because you have better players. You don't need to worry about it. You know, the running joke about, well, can he kill penalties? Anybody can kill penalties. It is not an innate skill.
Penalties for the Penguins plenty of times. I know he's not with the Penguins anymore, but he killed penalties for this team. I have seen Sidney Crosby kill penalties for the Penguins at times. Does he do it nowadays? No, for God's sake, he's in his late 30s. But when he was a bit younger, I saw him and Jake on the penalty kill. Anyone can kill a penalty
The last thing I will say before we wrap, and I did turn the page and I found it here. So this year, the Stars have outscored opponents 84-63 overall. With Jason Robertson on the ice, they have outscored opponents 34-16. Without Jason Robertson on the ice, the Stars have only outscored opponents 50-47. I think we are really missing the boat here in overcomplicating this because everybody really likes the movie Miracle and everybody wants to be Kurt Russell and give the big speech. Bill Guerin, just bring the best players, for the love of God. This isn't hard. It really isn't. I don't care about defense and penalty killing. If we have the puck the entire game, it doesn't matter. Stop overthinking this. And speaking of overthinking this, I think Canada, who we're about to talk about, did probably a slightly better job in cultivating their roster. We're going to take our second and final break on today's edition of Locked On NHL. When we come back, we'll dive into the selections for Team Canada and a whole lot more. Thank you so much to everybody who is hanging out on this Thursday edition of Locked On NHL. And Hunter, my friend, I like Team Canada's roster a little bit better because I think they didn't overthink it. The defense is probably the only real area I have qualms. I wouldn't have brought Binnington at all. I get why Doug Armstrong is. He should not be the starter. I know he's the incumbent, but Darcy Kuemper has been significantly better than him basically his entire career. I think, weirdly enough, Darcy Kemper's kind of underrated in the scope of the NHL. He's been a down ballot Vezina guy a couple times. And other than that, I don't really got a lot of problems. I like them bringing Suzuki. He deserves to be there. Tom Wilson for Sam Bennett is a negligible trade-off. I don't have a huge qualm about that. I think Wilson's arguably a slightly better player overall, even though Bennett's more... Bennett has a reputation as being a bit more of a big game player. He scored the tying goal in the Four Nations. He's been really good for Florida the last two cup runs. But as far as the rest of this roster, I'm so glad they brought Celebrini. I wish Bedard wasn't injured and we could have a bit more of a straight-up conversation about it. But I like a lot of what Canada did in assembling this team. Their goalie situation scares me. But beyond that, I really like what they have.
I still think they should start Logan Thompson no matter what, no matter who they're playing against, excuse me. I know that Binnington is there for his play from the Four Nations, but I don't think he should start in that first game or in any of those games. I think you have to start Logan Thompson with the level that he's been at. Defensively, it was kind of funny, Nick, seeing Drew Doughty there, but I also think he's there for the leadership mentality. Yeah. Just he's been to these things before. Like he's seen a lot of hockey. That's why I think that's the main reason why he's there. I've seen some people question why Evan Bouchard wasn't there. I feel like his skill set's very redundant. Like what he does well, Cale Makar does like 5 to 10 times fold. So I just don't really think you're going to bring Evan Bouchard there. I would have liked to have seen Schaefer there. I think he deserves to be there, but I understand why they're bringing obviously someone like Sanheim who has played in big situations. I get why they're bringing, Harley, who has obviously been great for Dallas. Devon Taves and Cale Makar are going to play together. Shea Theodore is going to be in that lineup every single night. So I guess if I had one call about the defense, I guess I would have tried to include Schaefer in one of them, but for the most part, really no complaints there. At forward, I got to say, man, I'm stunned that Sam Bennett was not named to that team. Just won the Conn Smythe, was electric for the Panthers in the playoffs, scored that huge goal against Team USA in the Four Nations face-off championship game. I am really surprised that he was left off. I do like that Suzuki was there. He deserves it. You didn't mention it. Bo Horvat, congratulations to him. He got
hurt today, which is really unfortunate. Yeah.
Really hope that's not a long-term injury. If it is, I'm sure someone like Sam Bennett is going to be like the first call there, for example, or even Connor Bedard potentially. We'll have to see how severe it is. It didn't look that good when I saw a couple replays, but I will say in terms of him being there though, Bo Horvat, he deserves it. He has been lights out for the Islanders this year. The one I am confused about a little bit, Nick, Cirelli. Like I think you probably could have had Bennett in there for Cirelli, but I get why John Cooper wants him there just for his defensive capabilities in a bottom six role. I feel like that's going to be, I'm going to use this term here. It's going to be that quote unquote checking line that can go out there and, just be stingy in their own end. So I think that's why he's there. Obviously you have to have Brandon Hagel. That's fine too. Everyone else here, there's really no other complaints. So you're really just arguing around the margins. But again, Cirelli, I probably would have had, potentially someone else. But again, I'm nitpicking. But what are your thoughts on Cirelli being there?
It's a Cooper choice.
Yeah.
Him and Hagel are John Cooper guys. I get it. I think we see that a lot in international play in particular, where coaches and GMs are going to get their guys that they feel good about on the team because they trust them. They have an inherent trust with them that they don't they don't have a familiarity with other guys. I mean, I would have liked to have seen Wyatt Johnston make this team. He's a guy I've been a big fan of for a long time, but I don't think it's nearly as egregious as Jason Robertson or Fox being left at home. I'm disappointed for Bedard. I thought he was playing the best hockey of his life, obviously. I thought he was doing a really good job of being a driving force on a bad team and keeping them competitive, but it doesn't seem like he's due back from his injury anytime soon. And it's going to be hard to get yourself onto this team. I mean, I know that's working against Adam Fox to some degree right now because he's missed a lot of time this year. But at the same time, if you want to overlook the injuries the way it looks like they are with JT Miller, it's your prerogative. You can prioritize what you want. And Canada has assembled a well-rounded roster. I think their emphasis on defensive forwards makes sense, being that their defense maybe isn't as good as the United States is overall. I think you can go band for band, and pretty quickly Team USA sounds like the better group, even without Adam Fox, which is crazy to say, but I get why Canada's roster is assembled the way it is. It leans older, it leans veteran, it leans playoff or big game international experience, and until someone beats them, which when the NHL players have gone has only happened twice, I will be very skeptical of Canada losing in these spots. I with a gun to my head, we were here. We did the show. The Four Nations Face-Off Final was on a Thursday, and we picked the game. And until someone beats them in that do or die gold medal or final game, I'm not picking against them. I'm just not. America might have a better team. It might have more overall talent, but I'm not picking against Canada.
Especially with Sid there, man. I mean, with his leadership, how little often that he loses with that Team Canada sweater on, I'm not going to pick against them. If you had a gun to my head, say it's a USA Canada final, I would lean towards Canada. I mean, it's going to be close, but again, there's obviously going to be Sweden's going to drop their roster really soon. I'm really excited for that one. Finland's going to drop their roster very soon. You know, Switzerland, same. Germany's the same thing. I'm excited to see Leon there, for example, representing his country. It's also like the Czech Republic too. It's such a great opportunity for players that have been in the NHL for a while, Nick, that haven't been able to represent their countries on the global scale. And that's the main reason why I'm super happy about these Olympics, because we're going to get to see players who have never represented their countries, have never, at least at the Olympic level, get the chance to play in some of their biggest games of their lives. So I'm excited. Team USA gets dropped on Friday, and I'm pretty sure Sweden and Finland does at some point as well, maybe earlier on in the day, maybe when we're sleeping, just because of the time difference. But yeah, really, again, with Canada, not really any complaints. Again, if I had to nitpick, I would take Cirelli off. I would probably put Sam Bennett on there. Defensively, I would probably have Schaefer there over maybe, I don't know, Sanheim. But again, I'm being very nitpicky. This is when all the rosters get dropped, I'm still going to say that I think Team Canada is a slight favorite, and rightfully so. They have the two best players on the planet.
Yep. And that's the trump card ultimately. When the chips are down, you run Nate, Mac, and Connor out there. Good luck. I mean, you're not getting the puck back from them. You're just not. So good luck with that. All right. That'll do it for this week's edition of Locked On NHL. Thank you so much to everybody that made Locked On NHL their first listen of the day. Locked On NHL is a part of the Locked On Podcast Network, the #1 sports podcast network. Be sure to subscribe wherever you get your podcasts or over on YouTube. Be sure to check out the Everydayer Club. The details are down in the show notes. Hunter and I will talk to you guys next week. Enjoy the hockey, everybody.